Everyone likes to point back to 21 and 22 when we all had those big bumps. But we're seeing a little bit of stabilization, but kind of also maybe a little bit of apprehension. We're noticing probably that secondary home market is a little bit constricted, where the person who would want to move up from that first starter home into the next one is probably feeling a little bit apprehensive. I mean, obviously, the news is always talking about how expensive housing, groceries, gas, and everything is. So they seem to just be kind of settling in. And same thing with the people with those houses. They're not looking to downsize right now. So it's kind of got a little bit of a stalemate. It's kind of got a low inventory, or maybe a stable inventory of buyers and sellers. So it's not really noticing it. So the pricing and the activity is kind of staying the same within the area. Prices have pretty well stayed the same, a little bit of slight increase, not a whole lot. I think one thing that kind of gets lost in the shuffle with the rent is a lot of new construction of rental units that puts it onto the market. And there's no real lower rents, I guess, for lack of a better term. Everybody's kind of going after that executive buyer or executive renter. So the new rental market is really pushing the envelope on the cost. We notice here in PEI, I mean, we have rent control. So that causes a challenge that for the investor, they want to make sure that they can set their profit margin, I guess, for lack of a better term, high when they get started on the new construction. Because if they're buying an older building and they can't increase the rent to keep up with the cost of items such as, electricity's monitored, but we have a lot of oil heat here as well. So with oil prices going up, the return on investment is very difficult. So they're trying to push the rents up a little bit higher, but they can only do that on new construction. So it really depends on the area. The Maritimes, even though it's kind of small population wise, it does take a lot of different variations of geography in that time. Unless there's some major changes in the economy in the world, I think everyone is kind of sitting back and just kind of waiting, not just with what's going on in the US, but also what's going on in Canada. Everyone just kind of seems to be staying the course with no real reason to jump in or jump back. So I think there just seems to be a lot of just sitting back and waiting, which then, of course, maybe in the future is going to cause a little bit of a bottleneck. And, we've been through that over the years where it kind of stops and then it goes full tilt again. So it's always hard to have that happy medium. We've noticed some good confidence in the recreational market. I mean, we're a recreational tourist destination, and we've noticed this year that it's been a bit better in those kind of properties because, people who feel confident in their investments and their money and different things are willing to invest in that. So the pricing in there has been good. Selection is good. The Maritimes itself is always kind of punched above its weight. Sometimes it's got really good value and other times it has an increase. But yeah, no, I think it should stay good. It's very stable. Like we don't get hit with those big highs and big lows all the time, like some of our major centers. Everyone kind of looks after themselves and keeps chugging along in the maritime way.